cruise news time. And wow, we've got a lot of cruise news today. We've got cruise ships coming to the United States for the first time. We have a couple cruise companies canceling cruises going into the future. And Carnival's got some significant announcements. An announcement to their alcohol policy, which is going to have some people not too happy. And an announcement about the requirements needed to go on a cruise, which will make some people happy. Royal's got information too, a lot going on. Plus, I got to talk about yesterday's video, cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your consumption right there for your face. Are you a visual consumer and auditory consumer? Do you eat the cruise news? Either way, the cruise news is for your face today. And it is the 26th of October, a Wednesday. I'm getting hyped because I'm just a few days away from our next annual Halloween group cruise. I'm anxiously awaiting the arrival of some sort of delivery person with my Halloween costume. I can't wait to reveal that. Do you dress up for Halloween? Do you got any Halloween costumes going on? Are you on a cruise? Leave a comment below. But yeah, a huge pile of cruise news today. I also want to swing back around and talk about yesterday's story about my friends, the pier runners, and the reaction to that, which kind of blew my mind. But let's do cruise news first, and then we'll get into that stuff later. Cruise news story number one, we have a couple cruise ships coming to America for the first time. And honestly, they're both pretty exciting. The first one is the Celebrity Beyond, the newest cruise ship from Celebrity Cruise Lines. And at the helm of that cruise ship is Captain Kate McHugh. She's my favorite captain because she's awesome and because I don't really know any other captains' names. How about that? The Celebrity Beyond has made her way to Cape Liberty. That's in Bayonne, New Jersey. She'll be there next week. They're going to have a godmother ceremony with gymnast Simone Biles. And then eventually she'll end up in Florida doing some Caribbean sailings. She's going to be in the U.S. for a little bit. So if you were looking for an opportunity to jump on the Celebrity Beyond, the time is now. Do it today. I don't know. Sounds like a sales pitch, right? But no, that's exciting. Have you been on Celebrity Beyond? Did you go over to Europe and try it out? Have you sailed with Captain Kate before? Leave a comment below. Another exciting cruise ship making its way to the U.S. is Virgin Voyages' Valiant Lady. The Valiant Lady is making her way to Miami for big celebrations on October the 30th. We've talked about it a little bit. They're having her Mermaiden Voyage, which is a little bit of a celebration of her coming to America, also a celebration of Halloween, where they're going to attempt to break a Guinness Book World Record of the largest gathering of merfolk ever. That's mermen and mermaid, or folks dressed as mermen and mermaid, all together on the Valiant Lady. I want to try it. I mean, I don't know if I want to do the merfolk thing, but I really did have a good time on Virgin Voyages' Scarlet Lady. I would love to get the beautiful Jenny on the Valiant Lady, just so that she can see what that virgin sailing is like. But yeah, exciting. Anybody scheduled to go on the Valiant Lady while she's here in the U.S.? Leave a comment below. All right, so those are the ships that are coming to America. Now let's talk about a couple sets of cruises that have been canceled. The first cancellation story, let's talk about Costa Cruises, a Carnival Corporation brand. Costa Cruises has canceled their whole China-Asia itinerary. Why? Because, well, China's still shut down because of COVID. And while the impetus for this cancellation really is a lockdown China, it does impact other ports. They won't be going to China, to Hong Kong, to Taiwan, to Singapore, Japan, South Korea. All of those will be canceled because of challenges getting into China. This becomes a challenge because Costa was heavily targeting the Asian market as a source of revenue, and we've already seen some big moves by Costa transferring 3 cruise ships over to the Carnival Cruise Line brand. I don't know what that's indicative of. If revenues don't come for Costa, will we see more ships go away? Will there be something else happening? What will happen with Costa Cruises? We'll continue to watch that story. And another cancellation story that I have to bring forth is, well, it's a cancellation of P&O's newest cruise ship, the Arvia. The Arvia is working its way to being completed, ready for passengers, but they've canceled the first inaugural sailing. So we have the first cruise canceled, just a single cruise, as they continue to try to get that ship ready. It seems like that ship will not be ready on time. Arvia was scheduled to debut on December the 9th, 2022. Their debut has now been pushed to the 23rd of December, 2022. 2 days before Christmas, y'all. Have yourself a merry little Arvia. That, I think anybody that feels like that true pirate spirit's gonna have to go on the Arvia. I think there's gonna be an Arby's on there. Maybe. I don't know. All right, were you cancellated? Did you get canceled on the P&O Arvia for week 1? If so, we commiserate with you, and yeah, leave a comment below. We still got 2 really big Carnival Cruise Line stories to talk about, but there's still more cruise news stories. Have you heard about Royal Caribbean's newest cruise ship that they've released the details on, the Icon of the Seas? The Icon of the Seas. It's very own. It's a new the Icon of the Seas. Well, it's gone on sale for the general public today. Previously, if you were a Crown and Anchor member, you had early access to bookings, and the word on the streets is that these bookings are expensive. In the live show last night, somebody said, how come the bookings for the Icon of the Seas are as expensive as a Disney cruise? It's simple. It's simple. If they can get the money, they're going to take the money. I likened it to the video game industry, and I don't know how many of us are gamers out there. Of course, my generation, really the first generation to embrace gaming consoles, will probably be the first gaming senior citizens. But yeah, when video games come out, $60. If you want the latest and greatest video game, or it used to be $60. I haven't bought a console game in a while, but I remember this was the decision I used to make. Am I going to buy a $60 game? And I never wanted to buy the $60 game, and I knew that if I waited till the next game came out, or if I waited a year, or if I waited 2 years, oftentimes you could get that $60 game that was new 2 years ago for $20 or $30, or you could get it used for $10. And I think that cruising is a lot like that. The latest and greatest cruise ship has a premium price, and they will fill up that cruise ship, and because the cruise ship is full, they can charge those high prices. However, what it does is when the latest and greatest cruise ship comes out, the prices on the older cruise ships, well, they will decrease. And so if you want to go on the Icon, but you don't want to pay the brand new Icon price, you may have to wait a year, or you may have to wait 2 years before you can get a deal that you really like. But look, if you got to be the early adopter, if you got to be the first one on the Icon of the Seas, well, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay through the nose. I don't have anything scheduled on the Icon of the Seas. I learned my lesson this year going on new cruise ships that I don't necessarily like the inaugural sailing. I don't really have any reason to be first. That's not really what I do. I'm not trying to be first or show a ship first. I'm trying to go experience the ship, but I don't have to be first. Honestly, it could be a year before I go on the Icon, depending what the opportunities are, but I don't know. But yeah, did you book an Icon booking? Did it seem more than your other bookings? Did it seem as much as Disney? If you know those prices, leave a comment. Blah. All right, let's transition into the Carnival stories. And I also got to talk about yesterday's video. But before I do both of those things, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Somebody said that they didn't like the cruising hands because it didn't seem adult enough or serious enough. And so maybe the cruising hands is indicative of what kind of person I am. I believe that it's important to be serious. I believe that it's important to share the news. But I also believe that life is too short to not have fun while doing it. And so if you're here for the very first time, welcome. And what you've got is, I feel like a lot of information wrapped in some fun. And well, that's I can't change that. I gotta give it to you the way I gotta give it to you. And if you're the kind of person that sticks to that magnetic community, if you're the person that's attracted to the fun but informative, stick on. And if you're the kind of person that kind of gets repelled by the goofiness or the fun of it all, then maybe it's not the spot for you. I want everybody to be here. Everybody is welcome, but I know not everybody fits here. And so don't be so hard on yourself that if you don't fit, that you go look for your edutainment somewhere else. I get it, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. And you know, I hope you find what you're looking for, but I hope that I'm what you're looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. All right. Carnival dropped 2 bombs last night while my live show was on. I started getting peppered with this commentary that Carnival has dropped their vaccine requirement for cruises 15 days or less. That's right. If you're unvaccinated, you can go cruising on Carnival without any worry, and you don't need a test. You don't need a vaccine card. They're now saving that vaccine requirement for longer cruises, beyond that 15-day mark. And so that really opens up a lot of cruising to unvaccinated folks that may have been waiting to go cruising. and I know that's exciting for a lot of people. I'm not going to go super deep into the health protocols here, and the reason I don't go super deep is because I don't want you basing your whole I should be able to cruise or not cruise based on what I say. Take what I got as a prompt, go look at those protocols, make sure that you fit exactly where you need to fit. But that is the big story. The vaccine requirement has gone away from Carnival Cruise Line. I think that's going to open up a lot of cruising. If that's you, leave a comment below. And then the other huge Carnival Cruise news that dropped last night was that Carnival has done away with its pre-cruise alcohol purchase program or option. I don't know what we want to call it, but essentially it worked like this. If you're going to go on a Carnival cruise, you could go on the fun shops before your cruise online, and you could order a bottle to your cabin, a bottle and mixers. There's a premium price for the bottle, right? Maybe like $98 for a bottle of rum that would cost $14 to $20 at the liquor store. But you could do it. You could get on your cruise ship and have drinkable liquor in your cabin. A lot of people would use that as an alternative to the drink package. Cheaper to buy a couple bottles to your cabin than to get a drink package. And well, last night they just straight cut it off without much warning. A lot of times when price changes or program changes come, they give people some time to go ahead and pre-order some bottles. It's gone. It's a gone pecan. You cannot do that anymore. And again, I've seen some people around the socials that are upset about the no notice, the no ability to go ahead and pre-purchase some stuff. I saw somebody talking to John Heald making a complaint about it, and he mentioned in his response that Carnival's looking for a better way to understand the alcohol consumption of people on the cruise ship, which makes sense. In light of a lot of things that are going on, them trying to get a better idea of how much alcohol people are consuming, it makes a lot of sense, honestly. But it's a double-edged sword. You're going to get a better control over alcohol consumption, but I know a lot of people took advantage of this, buying a bottle in advance. Did you do that? We've done that before. Did you do that? Leave a comment below. And look, that's it for the cruise news. I do want to talk a little bit about yesterday's show. If you'd like to go ahead and check out. And I just want to give you some behind the scenes, and I was very challenged by the response to yesterday's show. And I feel like I have I'm connected well with you guys, and I understand how you're going to react to things, and I completely missed it yesterday. Like, I did not expect the reaction that we got. Let me tell you how I got to yesterday's show. I had an experience on my last cruise where I was a person on the cruise ship and my cabin mate was not on the cruise ship, and there was a series of circumstances and my cabin mate almost got left behind. And so things happened to me on the cruise ship. I was asked questions about my cabin mate's passport status. I was asked questions about his medication status. And the thing I wanted to convey in that video is that if you're somebody on board and you have somebody that's not on the cruise ship, that you should know the answer to those questions. And that was really the main thing that I wanted to convey. But a funny thing happened in the interaction. My friend John and Tommy were off the cruise ship together, and there was some little contention about who made them late back to the cruise ship. And I thought that was funny. And I really enjoyed the spirit of yesterday's video was fun and frivolity. And it turned into just a crap on my friends John and Tommy video by some in the comments. And I always feel like we're pretty good here about discussing choices that we don't like, discussing behavior that we don't like, but I always felt like we're pretty good about not crapping on people. And the wild thing is, like, in the comments, I heard people say, well, you should drop those guys as friends, or these guys are immature, or these guys are douchebags, or like real personal attacks against people that you don't really know. For me, like, from a communication perspective, I think the way that I would have approached that, and this is what I would say about it, it's like, I would make it I statements, right? Like, wow, I don't think I would cut it that close. I think I would be worried whether or not I was going to upset somebody on the ship, or whether or not I was going to make more work for the crew. That's how I would have, approached that. Wow, that's a crazy story. I don't think I would have done that, but a lot of people took a lot of opportunity to crap on my friends. And so there's two perspectives here. When my friend Tommy talks about running the pier, he is not talking about being late for the cruise ship. He is talking about living a life so full of soaking in all that cruise life possible that he wants to be at the gangway at the all aboard time. So if it's 4:30, he wants to be coming up the pier and get there right at 4:30 because he did the things. He did everything that he could. He soaked in that port and he lived it and he loved it. And I like it. I like that spirit. Now, I'm very conservative. I don't think that I would cut it close, but I would never crap on my friend Tommy for trying to get the most out of that cruise life. And honestly, the cruise ship, they just want you there on time. And honestly, what I know about Tommy is I don't know a time that he hasn't been there on time except just the other day. The same thing with my friend John. I don't know that he has ever been late for a cruise ship, but the circumstances stacked up in a way that's what happened. Now, we were having a fun video. Of course, you hear Tommy on the video saying, I like to run the pier, but what people are missing is he's saying, I like to live that cruise life. I like to get the most out of the port. I like to squeeze it for everything that it's worth. It's a celebrative use of the word pier runner. It's a celebration of life, and I personally feel bad if I didn't convey that in my messaging because I was trying to make a fun video. And again, I'm super disappointed because there's people that I know that are like, oh, you shouldn't be friends with these guys. It's like, I would rather be friends with somebody that's 5 minutes late for a cruise ship that are doing their best to get the most out of this life that is so fragile that could end at any time, instead of being somebody that's like wants to discard people because of a choice they disagree with. And that's what hurt my feelings yesterday. And so it was an interesting back and forth. Now, again, let's talk about the behavior. You don't like the behavior, you don't like that kind of thing, but making a judgment about a person you don't really know, it just seems a little off base to me, and it disappointed me. It disappointed me, honestly. The other thing I've got to address is there were people that said, oh, I just wouldn't have answered the phone. They're not really your friends if they expected you to answer the phone. Like, do you not understand how friendships work? That's the way friends are. I was there for those guys when they needed me, and those guys are going to be there for me when I need them. That's what friendship is. It is a give and take. That was the other thing that blew my mind. It's like, oh, I wouldn't have helped those guys out. But then what kind of friends are you? That's the way friends work. That's the way relationship works. Sometimes you need them, sometimes they need you, and the real tell of how your friendship is whether you're there for each other. And so for those people that suggested I shouldn't have been there for my friends, come on. Okay. That's it. That's all I wanted to say about the show yesterday. I apologize if I put my friends in a bad light. These are two zealful cruise lovers, people respecters, passionate people wanting to get everything out of that cruise life possible. I don't think I did a great job of conveying that, and I was disappointed that people judged them based on whatever they thought it was. And so I will defend my friends. I am loyal, and yeah, it was a wild show yesterday. I love it. I love it when we have this give and take. You know, I love you guys. Much love to the Loca fam, and I hope that we have the ability to have this give and take and it not hurt anybody's feelings. Now let me leave you with this. If you're looking for a nice wholesome presentation of that cruise content that features both me and the lovely Jenny, have you seen our most popular video ever, 10 mistakes that first time cruisers make? I think we made this after our first or second cruise. What the heck did we know? Go check out this video. Did it seem like we knew what we were talking about, or did we seem like newbies? Watch that video. Leave a comment under that. Yeah. This is Tony for Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Carpe diem, y'all. Come on.